Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is that we want to create a text style that we're going to be using to write the room designation. And we're also going to put them on the proper layer. So what I did is that for the room numbers or the room designation, we only have the kitchen here. If you had drawn anything else, you're probably going to use the same command and the same layer. So the layer where the notes or the room numbers or room names or room tags go onto is called GNO occupant. So the GNO occupant, actually, I will show you the properties for this layer that I created. You can see it's cyan and it has a continuous line and the line weight is 0.35. So this is where the kitchen label, and we're going to use something called the wipeout command, is going to go onto. Okay, so it's on GNO, cyan, the line weight is 0.35. I also want you to add another layer that is going to be dedicated for the symbols that we have, because we create a symbol here for the elevation 1 or elevation 2, depending on how many symbols you have, but they go actually on something called the GNO line. Okay, so the symbols for the elevations and the section, which we're going to do later, do go on the GNO line. So I just don't want you to mistake those with the layer for the text, for the kitchen, for the room tag. So the GNO line, if you go to the layer properties that I have here, it's magenta and it's a continuous line, but the line weight is 0.70 millimeter. Okay. So we're going to close this and let's see how to use the wipeout command to create something like this, to create the room tag. Now, the first thing that you need to do is that you need to go to the text. We need to create a new text style. The new text style is going to be a standard one. So I'm going to show you, you already know this from previous exercises, is that you're going to go to standard, and from there you can manage text styles. And here I already created the room labels text style, and the font name was Arial. The font style is regular. The height is 100 and it's not annotative. And then we're going to set it as Karen. So that's how I started creating the room label. You can definitely go to standard and do the exactly same thing. And you start with a default and then you rename it and then set up those preferences. Okay, now after that, we want to make sure that this is the style that we're going to be picking. So we need to click on room labels. Okay, and then I'm just going to delete those for now so you can see how we created them. So we have room labels here, which is the text style that we created. And then we're going to go to text and select single line. And then anywhere here on the floor, which should be hatched for this type of exercise here, or this assignment, because we're going to use the wipeout command to be able to actually make the text stand out from the background hatching. So you should have sort of hatching here. You can pick anything. It doesn't have to resemble exactly what you have. Just try to find something suitable. So you can experiment with the wipeout command. So I'm just going to click here, and then I'm going to click enter on my keyboard, and then the text cursor is blinking, and I'm going to type kitchen. It doesn't matter which, I'm on GNO line now, which is fine. We can change that later. Okay, and then I'm going to click anywhere else and click escape. Okay, now I'm just going to click here on that kitchen, and from here I'm going to select the GNO OCCP, which is occupancy, which is the right layer, and I'm going to click escape on my keyboard. Now, if I want this to continue being the GNO occupancy, I'm just going to click on it here from the layer editor, and I'm going to click to make it current. and then I'm going to close. Now, the next thing we want to do, you can see that the kitchen is actually kind of, it looks like it's on top of the hatching, but still we need it to stand out almost like those two um, symbols here. So I'm going to go use a rectangle command. I'm going to click on rectangle. I'm going to go and create like something around it to make it stand out like that, which is the tag, the room tag. And then I'm going to click to end. So I just created a rectangle around the room name. And then I'm going to click on wipe. I'm going to type wipe out, and immediately when you type it on the command line, is going to come up and pop up like this, and click enter on the keyboard. Now it's asking you to specify the first point or polyline. Actually, I'm just going to click on polyline here, and then it's asking you to select a closed polyline. So I'm just going to click this one. Erase polyline. No, I don't want to erase it. And it's going to look something like that. Now, we know that the text actually had disappeared, but we can make it visible again if you just hover over here on the kitchen, because if you hover over the kitchen, text is going to pop up. I'm going to click on it, and then right click with the mouse. All right. And then when you right click on the mouse, there's something here called the draw order. The draw order is going to make you bring above object. So in this time, I actually want to bring the text on top of the polygon, which is the rectangle. So I'm just going to click here, bring above objects, and then I'm going to click on that, and then click enter on the keyboard. Okay, so there's a little bit of tweak here that you have to do. So the text, the draw order can change that from the text. When you click on it, on the text, right click, and then draw order, and then bring above objects and select the rectangle that you made it visible with a wipeout command. So that's basically the first thing that you should be doing for using the wipeout command, is that you should have a hatching pattern in here. So for the text to be able to, or the wipeout command to be able to be visible like this, and you already know right now what are the layer that this should go onto, and what are the layers that the symbols for the blocks, or the symbol for the elevation should go on.